Tensions between Russia and the West have been escalating in recent weeks. The United States of America has now expressed concerns over Russia's reported plans to block foreign military ships and other vessels in parts of the Black Sea. The U.S. State Department has called Russia's plans to block parts of the Black Sea an unprovoked escalation. In his latest address, U.S. State Department spokesperson Ned Price has said, and I quote, "This represents yet another unprovoked escalation in Moscow's ongoing campaign to undermine and destabilize Ukraine," unquote. Russia's move has triggered concerns as it could ultimately impact access to Ukrainian ports, including occupied Crimea and the Kerch Strait. The Kerch Strait is of crucial importance for the export of grain and steel from Ukraine. Russia has a history of taking aggressive actions against Ukrainian vessels and also impeding access to Ukrainian ports in the Sea of Azov. Now, this has led to impacting Ukraine's international commerce. NATO has already called on Moscow to ensure free access to Ukrainian ports in the Sea of Azov and allow freedom of navigation amid provocative actions by Russia-led forces at the line of contact with Ukraine. State Department.
Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakakwadash. Number one is to the apostles where we learn this truth. And then peace to you sincere brothers out there at the True House of David. And basically just more World War III news. A little bit of a prophecy update, just going into the times that we in, and everything lines up, with the scriptures, going into Bible prophecy, which is very heavy because it leads to the destruction of Babylon, which when you go to Jeremiah chapter 50, it lets you know that the assembly of nations are going to call together the archers, and they're going to destroy this place, man. Luke 21 and 9, it says, matter of fact, I started Luke 21 and 8. And he said, "Take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying that I am the anointed, and the time dwelleth near. Go ye not therefore after them. But when ye hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." And he said unto them, "Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." So going to Luke 21, as the Lord was speaking on the wars in this time right now, and the Lord was speaking on a time where there was going to be many coming in the Lord's name. So World War III is a major part. So is the false prophets that the Lord mentioned throughout the Bible, the tares and the wheats, and so on and so forth. But when you go into this Third World War, this is what the Lord actually warned of too in these times. And these are nothing but wars and rumors of war. And the Lord said, but the end is not by and by. So that means that there are things that need to still happen as we hear these things. But this lets us know that we are close to the end, as the Lord said it. And the Lord said many shall come in his name. So you cannot be deceived in these days. And that's why we go into understanding where the Spirit is, and how the Lord came, and what he actually went into, and how he spoke. Because these are signs to let you know the false prophet from the ones that was actually sent. One of the ways to know that men were actually sent is men are going to come in the Spirit of the Lord. And the prophets that were, according to the scriptures, when you go into the scriptures, the true prophets, they were not welcome and known. You see? You know, oftentimes we go to the Old Testament, a lot of prophets, they were feared. But as the Lord speaks of Luke 21, in Luke 21 right here, he lets us know that we're going to hear wars and commotions. And he says, what? Be not terrified, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not by and by. So we should understand that we're in that time. Verse 11, matter of fact, verse 10, it says, and he said unto him, nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And that's Russia. And going back to the Cold War. And everything is basically lining up in these times right now. You know, things are lining up. The chess pieces is getting put into place. That's why Morpheus is still calling Neo, as a term we would say. That means the elect is being sealed every day. And you know what helps you look at that and actually see it like that? Because certain men were going to come in the 11th hour. Certain men were going to come in. Men came in at different times at the end of the world. That's what you have to understand. Everybody didn't come into the truth at the same time. That's why the Lord say, every man what we say will get the same penny. So the elect is still being sealed. As it were in the days of Noah, and Noah was sealing his household. This is a different time, even though the elect are being sealed. What's going on now is that you have 144,000 to be sealed. So you don't just have Noah being sealed. You have the 144,000, and these men are being sealed every day. But that lets us know that we're close to the end. When we hear of these things, according to Revelation 7:3, every man, it lets us know that the destruction will be let loose over the four corners of the earth. So when we go into these things of the Lord sealing men in the 11th hour, that means that it was men that was sealed, that was called already, that was sealed already into this truth, and then men are going to be sealed right before the end too. And we are right at that time where men are being sealed right at the end too. Luke 21:11, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and pestilence, and the fearful sights and great signs that shall be from the heaven. Right. And one of the signs that we just had, that the brothers did the brother did 2 sit downs. He did the one that the lightning struck the 58 goats, 68 goats, I think it was. And it killed those goats. And then it was another sign it was another great sign that came from the heavens, where the sheeps were in a circle-like state, and they was lined up amongst each other. And these are very good signs, because the Lord is dealing with his elect sheep, and he's going to actually kill the goats. When you go to was that Matthew 25? He said he's going to separate the sheep from the goats. So these are great signs, because basically we're in those times right now. And that's why it's important for you to actually believe this thing and believe for yourself, not to be a fucking parrot and just follow the crowd. Because what we have going on in these last days, you have many false prophets, like the Lord said, and right here in this chapter, Luke 21:9 and 8. So you have to discern who's the real from the fake. And not by just men knowing information, men make them men or Lord, or being famous. You know, this truth ain't about being famous. You let this world make you think that, and men make you think that you're going off the path. You got to understand that the prophets walked a very straight and narrow road. Now, being it at this end of the world, if you're totally for the Lord and you're totally against this world, you're not going to be famous. See, a lot of men think because they're famous, they're men of the Lord, and that's what a lot of you guys think. That's not the case. Most of the cases with these men well-known teaching this Bible, they're very corrupt. We're dealing with high-level demons, because if you're all the way for the Lord, you're not going to be well spoken of at all. You see? Because having the eyes to see, that is not really a true popular thing, even if you can see these demons. Guys that's posing as the anointed, as the Lord said. The Lord said, many shall come in his name in this time. So Luke 21 We're in the times of Luke 21, just like we're in the times of Matthew 23, Luke 11, so on and so forth in the scriptures. So the great signs that shall be from heaven, Luke 21:12, but there before all these shall lay their hands on you and prosecute you, deliver you up in the synagogues and to the prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Right, so it's a lot of betrayals and men, a lot of these things are going to be going on. That's why what's good in these last times is less, meaning that being around less men in these days, being away from groups, because what's best in these last days is not being amongst the crowd, because the crowd is corrupt. You see, you go back to number 16, Korah and the whole crowd was so corrupt, the Lord did a whole sweep and swallowed all their ass up. So you have to understand, in these last days, men are going to give you up in a whole bunch of betrayals, you see? And that is a part of the scriptures. The true men of the Lord will be betrayed and be hated in these last days. This is what the Lord spoke of. You see? And this truth is going to the gates of the nobles, as the scriptures talk about in Isaiah 13. So the higher ups, they know the true men that actually had the power. And you know what? And another thing that I was actually thinking about, me and a brother, we was talking about this last night. And the thing about it is, when you go to these movies of these mutants, and when you go to these movies of the ones that had superpowers, the government and the people always hated the men that actually had the power, that actually was the talented ones, that ultimately had that real power. They were hated. They were hated in all the movies. They were such a threat. And so that's why the Lord said, you're blessed when you're hated and when men shall do certain things to you, because you're blessed of the Lord. You're part of me. You see, so just like in the movies, they show you that men that had the powers, they were a threat until the society which they came, and people hated them. So going back to that movie we was watching, it was called Midnight Special. You know, it was this little boy, he had the power, and he was so much a threat. Just like in all these movies with the superheroes, like going back to Superman. You know, when you're a threat and when you actually have the power, the mutants, you were hated by the government and by the people because of the power that you had. You see, so it goes back with this truth too. The ones that actually have it, they are a threat. See, you're not a threat if you're famous and well-known and liked. You see? So you have a lot of well-known false prophets that's out there that's not really doing this for the Lord. They're just doing this because of the fame. And fame is a more addictive drug it's more addictive than drugs. Luke 21:13, it says, and it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate therefore what ye shall answer. Right, so when certain men get delivered up, you know, don't think about, the scriptures tell you, don't think about what you're going to say before these kings and these certain men. You see, just like now in these times, the Lord give us the mouth to speak. And sometimes we don't even know what we may speak. It's just the Lord speaking through us. It's not us that speak. It's the Lord that actually speak. Luke 21:15, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries. So that means not just Esau, the men of our nation, certain men of this truth, they're not going to be, it says, I'll give you a mouth and a wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. Right, so a lot of men, they can't resist or gainsay what we're saying. I'm talking specifically us, you know, just the true brothers that's dealing with this truth. As for me and the other few brothers that we teach this word, man can't gainsay it or resist it. They may hate it, but there's nothing really they can say against it, because ultimately you come against what we say, you're going against the scriptures. You see, and that's what men actually underestimate in these last days. They underestimate the spirit dealing with certain men on a high level with this truth. You see? Men underestimate who the Lord can actually deal with. So the Lord said he will give us a mouth and a wisdom that our adversary can't gainsay or resist. So this all goes in the time of wars and rumors of war. All these things will be happening in this certain particular time that the Lord was actually speaking of. Verse 16, ye shall be betrayed by parents and by brethren, kinfolks, and friends, and some of you shall be caused to be put to death, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. You see? But there shall not a hair of your head perish, for in your patience possess ye your souls. So the Lord said, you shall be hated. You see? And some brothers will get put to death, but the majority of the elect will make it. So the scripture tell you in verse 17 that you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. And the Lord mentioned that over and over and over again. So that's the thing. One of the ways to know the false prophets, you're not fucking love teaching this word. If you love teaching this word and you liked and people cling to you and they give you all these big ups on your comment board, that means you're a false fucking prophet, because the true prophets, they will be speaking in a way which the world would not like. But their way is the way to salvation because they are sincere in the Lord. So being hated with this word is very key. And the Lord mentions it over and over, especially in these times. The true men of the Lord will love them, but the world will actually hate them. You see? So you have to be able to distinguish the true men of the Lord from the phonies. Now, if you're looking at it according to this world, you're looking at this world loving you. So all these things will be happening in this time. When you look at these, when you look at the times that we're in, wars and rumors of war, many false prophets, earthquakes, certain signs and things that's going on in the heavens. These are the times that we are in. I'm going to skip down. Luke 21:24 says, they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captives unto all nations. So that happened. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles is being fulfilled. So we're in the time of the so-called white man's, this kingdom, America, which is known as Babylon in the scriptures, we're at the end of that. This is the time of the true Gentiles, the original Gentiles. They're ruling, and this is the time they're in, and it's been fulfilled. So you have to understand the times that we're in. The rumors of wars, the signs from the heaven, the true men of the Lord being hated in these times. All these things are in correlation to the times that we're actually in. So you can't, you are not a true man of the Lord if you are a celebrity and you like more than you hate it dealing with this word. And that's according to the scriptures. Now, a lot of you could confute that all you fucking want, but take it up with the Lord. So that means if you like more than you are hated teaching this word, you're a false prophet. If you're famous teaching this word, you're a false prophet in this time of war. You see? Why? And if you think about it, why would you be a prophet and you be liked in this time and people cling to you? You're supposed to be, the scriptures let you know that the men of the Lord and the prophets of the Lord, they were austere men. The Lord was an austere man. He was very severe. So you wouldn't be liked on a large scale, maybe by a few men, but the majority of people, they're not going to like you. So for all you false prophets that's out there, you're not true men of the Lord if you're famous teaching this word. That means you're not even really teaching this word like that. You see, and Yahweh Shai is not the cornerstone of your ministry, which Yahweh Shai taught in a certain way, which men are not able to teach the way the Lord taught all the prophets because they don't want to be hated. And, you know, the true men of the Lord, they're not going to be celebrities. You go back to the Old Testament, the prophets, they were hid in caves. Elijah said he was the last one of the prophets left. So that's what you got to understand. And that's why the Lord said in Luke, going back up, Luke 21 and 8, it says, and he said, take heed that ye be not deceived. This is what the Lord said. For many shall come in my name, saying that I am the anointed, and the time draweth near. This is what the Lord said. So for a lot of you guys that's information junkies, you think that information and big ups in this world, who they may like make you a man of the Lord, according to the scriptures, the Lord said you will be hated of all men. And the Lord said that particular line a lot of times, a couple times throughout the Gospels. So false prophets, wars and rumors of wars, we are in that time. And with that, man, it'll be on to the next one. Hey, shalom.